The Beast from Slovakia, how Michal Krizo shook the foundations of modern bodybuilding. In a sport ruled for decades by legends like Arnold, Ronnie, and Phil, a seismic shift erupted from the unlikeliest of places, Slovakia. When Michal Krizo stepped onto the global stage, he wasn't just another mass monster. He was a walking, breathing earthquake that sent shockwaves through the bodybuilding world, and no one saw him coming. Towering at 6 feet 1 inch and tipping the scales at over 290 pounds in contest shape, Michal Krizo didn't just show up, he dominated. His entry into the IFBB Pro League wasn't just a move, it was a warning shot, a warning that the old guard had just been put on notice. With arms that looked carved from granite, a chest as wide as a car hood, and that signature freak factor, Krizo embodied everything fans missed about the golden age of size and symmetry. But what makes his rise so shocking isn't just his physique. It's how fast it all happened. Just months before the Olympia, Krizo was battling it out in the IFBB Elite Pro division, largely overlooked by mainstream fans and dismissed by the critics. But with one explosive switch to the NPC, he turned whispers into screams. Within weeks, he earned his pro card, and within months, he was standing under the bright lights of Mr. Olympia, going toe-to-toe with the most elite physiques on the planet. That kind of leap, it's unheard of. Social media exploded. Comment sections flooded with disbelief. Who is this guy? Is he real? This can't be natural. But the muscle was real. The density, the detail, the raw mass, it was all there. And behind the scenes, whispers grew louder. Is Krizo the future of bodybuilding? Even the veterans had to acknowledge him. He wasn't polished yet. Conditioning had room to improve. Stage presence was still in development, but the potential, it was terrifying. Just imagine, a rookie with barely a year in the Pro League, already sparking fear in the eyes of seasoned Olympia contenders. It's like a rookie quarterback walking into the Super Bowl and throwing Hail Marys in Tom Brady's face. But Krizo's journey wasn't without controversy. Some claimed he was all size, no structure. Others said his conditioning couldn't hang with the likes of Hattie Chupin or Derek Lunsford. Memes popped up mocking his posing. Detractors called him all pump, no polish. And yet, he kept growing. Every update photo, freakier, fuller, drier. The delts, alien-like. The biceps, unnatural peaks. The vascularity, grotesquely mesmerizing. He became a spectacle, the kind you can't look away from even if you wanted to. And just when people thought they had him figured out, he leveled up again. Training footage started surfacing. Raw, brutal sessions in Slovak gyms that looked more like dungeons than fitness centers. Screams, sweat, and plates clanging like war drums. It wasn't pretty. It was primal. He didn't train like a modern bodybuilder. He trained like a man possessed. By 2024, people stopped laughing. The same voices that mocked him were now analyzing his symmetry, praising his improvements, and speculating about future podiums. The same trolls who said he'd fade away were now making reaction videos to his guest posing. Because Krizo wasn't fading, he was rising. And if his trajectory continues, there's a real chance the Olympia stage will have to prepare for a new kind of champion. One built not in Hollywood gyms, but in the iron forges of Eastern Europe. One who didn't grow up under the spotlight, but emerged from the shadows with the muscle to rip the spotlight away. Bodybuilding isn't just about aesthetics anymore. It's about shock, awe, and the ability to dominate a room by walking into it. That's what Michal Krizo brings. He's not just here to compete. He's here to conquer. And for every fan who misses the raw intensity of the Ronnie era, for every lifter who grew up idolizing mass monsters with freaky proportions, Michal Krizo is the shot of adrenaline the sport desperately needed. The beast has been awakened. The game has changed. And this is only the beginning. In a sport dominated for decades by American legends and Western physiques, a storm is brewing from the east, and his name is Michal Krizo. Once seen as just another mass monster from the European IFBB scene, Krizo has exploded into the spotlight with a vengeance in 2025, silencing critics, turning heads, and dropping jaws like dumbbells after a PR deadlift. The Slovakian beast is no longer just a potential threat. He is the threat, and he's bringing an old-school freak factor back to the Olympia stage that fans have been begging for. But it didn't come easy. From shadows to center stage. For years, Krizo was dismissed by the mainstream bodybuilding elite. While he dominated the IFBB Elite Pro circuit, the hardcore fans whispered, if only he switched to NPC, he'd destroy everyone. And then, in 2022, he did exactly that. Krizo's crossover into the NPC IFBB Pro League was like watching a lion released into a cage of wolves. He smashed his way through the amateur ranks, won his pro card in a single show, and walked onto the pro stage, looking like he'd been sculpted in the pits of Valhalla. The comparisons were instant. Ronnie Coleman's graininess, Phil Heath's roundness, Marcus Rule's size, and yet Krizo brought something else. A raw Eastern European intensity, the kind that says, I didn't come here to play, I came here to conquer. The transformation of a titan. Fast forward to 2025, and Krizo doesn't just look improved, he looks terrifying. The man is hovering around 290 pounds on stage, with veins like cables and arms that look like they could crush bowling balls. His shoulder-to-waist ratio is inhuman, and his quads are now pushing that Tom Platz separation, with a fullness that's left fans speechless. Even the harshest critics have flipped the script. Krizo used to be all about size, but lacked detail. They said, not anymore. This year he's unveiled a level of conditioning that borders on the grotesque,